Hello, and welcome to my 2022 bookshelf tour. I haven't done one of these since 2019 when I moved into the unit, which I now no longer live in, and I haven't done a bookshelf tour since. Also want to preface this by saying literally no one asked for this, but here we go. So as you can see, this is what it currently looks like. It's a bit messy, I do clean it, and I've already done a TBR shelf tour, so if you want to see that, click the link that I've left somewhere. Okay, so on the first shelf we have like my Sarah J Maas and fantasy, and I have this super cute little box that a friend gave me. First up we have Obernewton, The Farseekers, Aisling, The Keeping Place, The Stone Key, Descending, and The Red Queen by Isabel Carmody, which makes up the Obernewton series. And then we have Alice and White Star by Isabel Carmody, Evermore by Isabel Carmody and Daniel Reed, and I actually got this signed when I met her at Supernova, which was super fun. Then we have Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, The Assassin's Blade, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Tower of Dawn, Empire of Storms, and Kingdom of Ash, which is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas. And then we have A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas, which is the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas again, and I'm so excited for the next one, which came out this week. Moving on up, this angle is really bad because the shelf is really tall, but we have the sci-fi and fantasy-ish section. Nevernight and Godsgrave by J. Kristoff, Caraval by Stephanie Garber, Scythe, Thunderhead, and The Toll by Neil Schusterman, which is the Scythe series. Legendborn by Tracy Dion, Law by Alexandra Bracken, Ninth House by Lee Bardugo, The Passage by Justin Cronin. I still need to get the next two for this, but look at how shiny the cover is. The Wise Man's Fear. This is the hardcover version. I have 2 copies of this. I also have the paperback, and it's filling in for The Name of the Wind, which currently is with a friend, and The Slow Regard of Silent Things as well by Patrick Rothfuss. The Way of Shadows by Brent Weeks, which is the first in the Night Angel trilogy. And then also by Brent Weeks we have The Black Prism, The Blinding Knife, The Broken Eye, The Blood Mirror, which didn't want to stay, and The Burning White, which is the Lightbringer series. It's not a trilogy, it's a series. Moving down on the shelves, we have my sci-fi / dystopian / alternate reality type books. And we have Retribution Falls by Chris Whitting and The Black Line Captain, which is the sequel to that series. The Martian by Andy Weir. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet and A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. I haven't actually read A Closed and Common Orbit yet, so don't come for me. The Call by Peter O'Geilan. World War Z by Max Brooks. Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bazterrica. Ready Player One and Ready Player Two by Ernest Cline. Illumine, Gemina, and Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, which is the Illumine Files, books 1, 2, and 3. And then we have Aurora Burning and Aurora's End, also by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, which is a similar sci-fi series. Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. And finally for this shelf we have An Absolutely Remarkable Thing and A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green. Moving on over, we have the anime and manga shelf, which starts with Fairy Tail Zero, No Game No Life Volume 1, Fairy Tail, a Japanese edition. And then we have Orange Volumes 1 and 2 by Ichigo Takano, Shikotaro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Then we have volumes 1 and 2 of Nisekoi False Love by Naoshi Komi, and volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Noragami Stray God. Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. I do plan to get the rest of these this year. And then In Real Life by Cory Doctorow and Jen Wang. Various volumes of the Avatar graphic novel series, and here are the titles if you are curious as to which ones I have. I don't have all of them. And that is that shelf completed. Moving down, we have my contemporary shelf, which is actually the rainbow shelf. So the next 3 complete the rainbow. First off, we have Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, which is a signed copy. A List of Cages by Robin Rowe. Again But Better by Christine Riccio, and then Better Together by Christine Riccio. I got the Barnes & Noble edition, which has like the flipped cover. I really like it. Without Merit by Colleen Hoover, An Abundance of Catherines by John Green, After You by Jojo Moyes, The Switch by Beth O'Leary, Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, When We Collided by Emery Lord, Something in Between by Melissa De La Cruz, Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman, Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I didn't like this. Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. I did like this. Attachments by Rainbow Rowell, Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, which I thought was fine. And then One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, which I also thought was fine. To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, Save the Date by Morgan Matson, Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, the sequel's coming out this year, Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, China Rich Girlfriend, also by Kevin Kwan, this is the sequel, Paper Towns by John Green, and to complete this shelf, When Dimple Met Rishi by Zendaya Menon. Moving on over, we have Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng, The Edge of Everything by Jeff Giles, Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins, Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, Landline also by Rainbow Rowell, Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade, The Thousandth Floor by Catherine McGee, The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, Two People, by the way, Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, and then also a signed copy of Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith, Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins, and We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Moving on over, we have The Last Shelf on the Rainbow. This is my little cactus. He's super cute. I bought him at a convention. November 9 by Colleen Hoover, P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, London Belongs to Me by Jacqueline Middleton, The Princess and the Fangirl by Ashley Poston, Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson and Lauren Miracle, K-Pop Confidential by Stephen Lee. I actually was really surprised by this. I really enjoyed it. All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I read this one on a cruise. That's all I remember. History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera, The Dazzling Heights by Catherine McGee, the sequel to The Thousandth Floor, The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I read this one earlier this year. Geekarella by Ashley Poston, Always and Forever Lara Jean by Jenny Han, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, Normal People by Sally Rooney, Slammed by Colleen Hoover, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, Looking for Alaska by John Green, Blaze of Glory by Michael Pryor, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I didn't like this either. Three Dark Crowns by Kendall Blake, The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. I would have unhauled this, but look how floppy it is. Literally the only reason I've kept it is because of how delightfully floppy this book is. I want every paperback to be this floppy, please. Reckless by Cornelia Funke, The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, and If at Birth You Don't Succeed by Zach Anna, which completes the rainbow. Alright, moving to the most familiar shelf on my entire bookshelf is the Cassandra Clare shelf, which hasn't really changed since last time, to be honest. I have this really cute Java Jones candle that I got from a bookish box. I haven't actually lit this one, but it smells really strongly of coffee, which I love. So first up we have the Infernal Devices graphic novel series, so Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, and the art is by Hee Kyung Bak. City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare, which is the Mortal Instruments series in all of its entirety. Then we have this 10-year anniversary of City of Bones edition. It is so pretty. It's one of my favorite books that I have on my shelf, and it is so, so gorgeous. Look at those gilded edges. It's so nice. An illustrated history of notable shadow hunters and denizens of the Downworld by Cassandra Clare and illustrated by Cassandra Jean. The Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare and Joshua Lewis. The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, which is the original covers of the Infernal Devices series. Tales from Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Rees Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Wasserman. And The Ghost of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Rees Brennan, Maureen Johnson, Kelly Link, and Robin Wasserman. The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Rees Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. Still haven't read this yet. And Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare, which are the first two books in the Last Hours series. And then we have these gorgeous special edition covers of the Dark Artifices series. So we have Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and The Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. And these are my pride and joy. It took me so long to track all three of them down, and I'm so glad I did because they are absolutely gorgeous. And that is the Cassandra Clare shelf. Moving on over to my favorites and childhood shelf, essentially. So Much I Want to Tell You by Anna Akana. This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. I loved this, it was hilarious. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Dodie, Secrets for the Mad by Dodie. This is where I actually got my mac and cheese recipe, so if you're into a good mac and cheese, you should get this book. The Elephant Vanishes by Haruki Murakami. Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. It has this beautiful foiling and it's gorgeous. Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick. The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. And the entirety of the Witch series. So here we go. The Power of Five, The Disappearance, Finding Meridian, Fire of Friendship, The Last Tear, Illusions and Lies, The Light of Meridian, Out of the Dark, The Four Dragons, The Bridge Between Worlds, The Crown of Light, The Return of a Queen, A Different Path, Worlds Apart, The Courage to Choose, Path of Revenge, The Other Truth, Whispers of Doubt, A Weakened Heart, A Choice is Made, Farewell to Love, Trust Your Heart, Enchanted Waters, and Friends Forever. And I hope to actually complete this collection this year because I have some missing. And then moving to the left, we have the Harry Potter / Patrick Ness / middle grade shelf. I have this super cute little Lego Harry Potter, it was my first Lego, and another Bookish Box candle, which is The Great Hall at Christmas. And also my two past bullet journals, so we have my 2019 and 2020 bullet journals. They live on this shelf too. So we have The Complete Fairy Tales by the Grimm Brothers, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Then we have these adult cover editions of the last three books in the series. I also really hope to complete these, but they're super hard to find in hardcover. So yeah, The Cursed Child and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the screenplay. If you want to do this, just watch the movie. It's way easier. Then we have The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness, Release by Patrick Ness, More Than This by Patrick Ness, and finally A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. And this has some beautiful illustrations, this edition. It's so cool. Dragon Rider by Cornelia Funke. I read this when I was a child. It was the first chapter book that I read of my own volition, and so I hold on to it for sentimental value and the fact that this cover is so well illustrated. Then we have The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane by Kate Dicamillo, and then Howl's Moving Castle, Castle in the Air, and The House of Many Ways by Diana Wynne Jones, which is the House Moving Castle series. Alright, moving on down, we have the Vampire Shelf, and every book on the shelf has vampires in it. So here we go. So we have the special 10th anniversary edition of Twilight, which also has Life and Death attached. Then we have Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer, with the additional Midnight Sun on the end there. Then we have Bloodlust and Initiation, Ritual and Legacy, and High Stakes and Hunted by Alex Duval. Then we have Vampire Academy, Frostbite, Shadow Kiss, Blood Promise, Spirit Bound, and The Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead. This is the Vampire Academy series, and I'm currently doing a reread this year. Then we have Bloodlines, The Golden Lily, The Indigo Spell, The Fiery Heart, and Silver Shadows by Rochelle Mead, which is the Bloodlines spin-off to the Vampire Academy series, to which I also will be finishing this year. Moving to the right, we have my other kind of like romance fantasy shelf, starting with A Touch of Power, Scent of Magic, and A Taste of Darkness by Maria V. Snyder, Poison Study, Magic Study, Fire Study, Shadow Study, and Night Study by Maria V. Snyder. I am rereading those too. And Stormglass, Sea Glass, and Spyglass by Maria V. Snyder. Then we have This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet by V.E. Schwab. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Moving on over, we have kind of like my early 2018 shelf. This is my little Oh My Stars Lunar Chronicles picture. Then we have Matched and Crossed by Ali Condi, Delirium and Pandemonium by Lauren Oliver. Then we have The Raven Boys, The Dream Thieves, Blue Lily Lily Blue, and The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater, which makes up the Raven Boys cycle, or the Raven cycle. We have The Poison Throne, The Crowded Shadows, and The Rebel Prince by Cillian Kiernan, which is the books 1, 2, and 3 in the Moorhawk trilogy. Inside Out and Outside In by Maria V. Snyder, which is that series. Intertwined, Unraveled, and Twisted by Gina Showalter. Shiver, Linger, and Forever and Sinner by Maggie Stiefvater. Then we have Wings, Spells, Illusions, and Destined by April and Pike. Then we have Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant and Four by Veronica Roth, which is the Divergent series. And then I have this box bind up of The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay, which I'm not going to take out because it's a pain, but there's the box set for you. The Hunger Games. We've all read it. Okay, moving on down, we have kind of like my unwanted books, and then other series that I thought were fine, or books that I'm trying to get rid of, or like my younger kids' books that are still chapter books but aren't quite picture books. So we'll start with The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. Then we have The Invention of Hugo Cabaret by Brian Selznick, Stardust by Neil Gaiman, The Lunar Chronicles, Cinder, Scarlet and Cress by Marissa Meyer. Then we have Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. I've only read half of these. The Dangers of Truffle Hunting by Sunny Overend, The Trauma Cleaner by Sarah Cranston, and the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon, which consists of Outlander, Dragonfly and Amber, and Voyager. The Painted Man, The Daylight War, The Desert Spear, and The Skull Throne by Peter V. Brett. The BFG by Roald Dahl, which was like a main character in my bookshelf organization. And then various kids chapter books that I had. So like I've got these two Enid Blyton books here, Don't Be Silly Mr. Twill and Bimbo and Topsy. They were two of my favorites. And then I have this Tales of Benjamin Bunny by Beatrix Potter. Clarice Bean Spells Trouble was one of my faves. And then this super old version of Blinky Bill, which I love, by Dorothy Wall. Several Goosebumps, to be exact, 3 of them, by R.L. Stein. Lily Quench and the Dragon of Ashby. I loved dragons as a kid. I was a dragon kid. Little Book of Pooisms. And then we have the Fire Dragon series. I think they're called The Last Dragon Chronicles. I've only read up to the Fire Eternal. I haven't read the last 3 in the series, and I kind of want to, but I just know that it won't be the same. And then we move over to kind of like the Angel shelf. So we start with Hush Hush, Crescendo, Silence, and Finale by Becca Fitzpatrick. Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. Fallen, Torment, Passion, and Rapture by Lauren Kate, as well as Fallen in Love as a bonus. And that's that shelf. Then we move over to my Mishmash Shelf. This truly is just a mess, so I'm not actually going to unpack all of it, but just a few highlights. What's in Your Pocket, Lucy Locket by Paul and Emma Rogers. My dad wants a reading of this on YouTube, and it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, Dad. But I can recite it pretty well from heart. Dinotopia, because who doesn't love dinosaurs? Then we have The Magic of the Faraway Tree and The Folk of the Faraway Tree by Enid Blyton. These hold such vivid memories. And if you know, you know, the Ology books. And that is it. That concludes my 2022 updated bookshelf tour. This video took me a very long time to make, so if you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you. If you didn't enjoy it, just move on, but I don't think you would have made it this far if you didn't enjoy it, so thanks to everyone that did make it this far. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!